I'd like to call this Tuesday, November 17, 2020, meeting of the Oldsmar City Council to order. Before we begin, I just wanted to remind everyone we are following the CDC guidelines, and we'd ask that if you are not speaking, please wear a mask. If you come up to the podium, your distance, so it's okay to take the mask off. We have them off up here because we're spread out. But if you wish to leave it on when you go up, that is certainly your prerogative as well. The next two items on the agenda are the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask. Please rise.
Our Father in heaven, give us the power to clearly discern right from wrong, allow our words and actions to be governed thereby and by the laws of this land. We ask for inspiration to strive in our endeavors to serve the public. We also ask that you direct us so that above all things we'll discharge our duties for the benefit of the people we serve. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right. So first, the next item on the agenda is a citizens open forum. We only have a couple of rules. One, you can speak for 5 minutes on anything that's on the agenda other than the public hearings. And tonight we have agenda items 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 are all public hearings. So sit tight if you have some comments on those. When you come up, we ask that you give your name, a full name and address, and please make sure you include the city, because we don't want to assume that you're here in Oldsmar. I'm going to start on this side of the room. Is there anyone for the Citizens Open Forum? Seeing none, I'm going to go on to this side of the room. Anyone for the Citizens Open Forum? You don't have any comments on the items on the Citizens Open Forum?
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
No.
Not you. I'm referring to the item that we have later in the agenda. It's not a public.
Good.
I wasn't sure if there was anything that you wanted to address. I'm not talking to you. Mayor.
What?
Mayor Beavis.
Yes.
You're out of order. I'm trying to explain that the item that we have later in the agenda.
Oh, if you want to say anything about item 18? You can, if you want. You can address it.
Now would be the time to do it.
Oh, sure. You can make some comments.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't rush you over there. All right? Because I've watched that happen before.
Sure.
Because it's not a public hearing, when we get to that agenda item, no one from the public will speak.
Okay, sure.
All right, so now you have 5 minutes and anyhow.
Sure. My name's Scott Hickey. I'm at 112 Bayview Boulevard in Oldsmar, Florida, Holloway Funeral Home. And we're on the agenda this evening for cremation. I did pass out some information to you folks, and I have more if anyone needs it with some of the environmental standards that the company has, and I do have a representative from that company as well who can answer any questions that you may have later this evening. So I just want to thank you all for your time, for your service to the community. We appreciate it very much.
Sure. And just for clarity, what's on the agenda actually is the subject of the prohibition of
the cremation, crematorium.
Crematoriums.
In the city limits, I guess, so.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. So
yeah, sure.
But you're welcome to use your 5 minutes, share anything you'd like, or your other person would come up and speak as an additional speaker in 5 minutes.
Yeah, my representative, Brian Gamache.
Sure, that's fine. Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
Brian Gamache, 2814 Silver Star Road in Orlando. I'm here to support Scott in their endeavor to put a crematory at the funeral home. And I'm willing to take any questions that you may have for me at any time this evening. I guess we're going to stay the course. But I noticed in the comments coming from the assistant city manager that there was, they indicated a concern about mercury generation. And I'd just like to say that mercury is a very small emissions level out of a crematory. And I printed out, just before the meeting, we printed out a report we found on the internet that shows the extent of mercury generation from crematories from industrial sources. And you'll see this bar graph in your literature if you get a chance to look at that. And it's the smallest. You don't even see the bar graph, on there. The indication, it's like 0.001% of all the mercury emissions generated industrial around the globe is done by crematoriums. Cement plants are a very common source of mercury, and those are permitted every day throughout the United States. So I just want to share that I understand mercury is a scare word, but it's really not an issue when it comes to emissions from a crematory. Are there any questions at all that you have for me?
Any questions?
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you. Any other public comments?
She just had a general one.
Sure.
Good evening. I first would like to thank you so much, starting with the mayor and everybody, for your service, and tell you how happy I am to live in Oldsmar since 30 years.
Wow, all right.
And thank you. And I love my city, and not very late. I was coming now, and I was looking at all the stores open with nice lights and everything. And I was so rejoicing because not all of our state places have this joy to have everything open and working. So thank you for your leadership, because I am sure that's part of your capabilities to keep us okay in Oldsmar, in Florida, hopefully everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That deserves applause right there. And thank you for being a citizen of ours for so long.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Tell us your name.
Basilia Barone.
Basilia.
It's a name, Greek name plus Italian name, which is my husband's name.
What street do you live on in Oldsmar?
308 Tavernier Drive in Oldsmar.
Very good.
So it's right,
Yeah.
right around the corner.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for coming and sharing.
Yes.
We're fortunate to have such great citizens who live here, and our city staff is responsible for a lot of the good things that you see going on. Absolutely.
I visit the library a lot of time. This is my love, going to the library and visit. And one of the advertisements that I saw and was very happy and very proud of is about our governor, Ron Santis, that I would like our mayor to try to talk to him a little bit about a complaint that I would say now.
Oh, see, I knew it was coming. I'm sorry, ma'am, you're out of time. Thank you, though. What's wrong?
So, the wrong is the masks.
Uh-huh.
Masks, I am such a nosy person. I love my neighbors. I talk with them all the time. And we complain between each other, not for many things, because as I just told you, we are very happy citizens. But about the masks, we complain all the time. We complain about headaches. We complain about skin rashes. We complain about breathing difficulties. We complain about nervousness, which even we around here now have difficult. I don't wear the mask because it is a nervous system that comes on me, and I have to pull it up and down and all that, and I really get so unhappy with that.
So you want me to talk to the governor about face masks?
Yes. So,
Okay, but
Yes.
you realize now that for us here in Oldsmar, it's not the governor's order that's requiring a face mask. It's the county order, the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners. So
They have open forum too, though.
they do, and you would be perfect at it.
Their meeting was today.
Yep, and we have a new chair.
dear Mayor, maybe by talking to the governor, it will save not only us in Florida, but all over the United States, because that's something that is hurting everybody. It's not only us. Everybody is getting the same. We are all humans, and we have all the same feelings.
Sure.
And masks is something, and I thank you very much for telling me that we have to go step by step.
Yeah, and the other thing, you know, and I'm not trying to get into your time, but the other thing is to consider, if you've ever listened to some of the debates that take place before the county commission, you've got a large population who feel very strongly about the safety value of requiring masks, and another contingent who has similar concerns to what you have. So it's a difficult issue that they wrestle with, I know. But I will say this, here in Pinellas, as a rule, we've been doing pretty good on the positivity rate as compared to some other places. I don't know that it's directly because of that, but it is one of the things that we've done as a county.
Yeah.
But your point is well taken.
We are hearing a lot from our meetings with my friends, and we hear a lot from expert doctors that have talked not only in one place, but all over the world. They are talking about it, and masks has been shown and proven that it is doing more wrong to our body than preventing the pandemic, whatever that is. So we need to be more than me complaining about it.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a promise to you that tomorrow I will share your concern with the new chairman of the county commission, because I plan to call him tomorrow about something else.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Absolutely.
That was my concern, but thank you again for being so understanding.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
tonight.
All right, do we have anybody else on this side of the room? All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the citizens' open forum. Next item on the agenda is the community minute, which will be announced by our, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought you said just this side.
Nope. Come on on. Come on down. Bring the guest.
You want to say something? Amber Stevens. Oh, go ahead. Amber Stevens, 318 Lafayette Boulevard. And I'm here to talk about Lafayette Boulevard. We have a plethora of speeders down that road, and I'm very scared sometimes just walking to my mailbox. Just a few days ago, I was holding him, and I was getting my mail, and someone was already speeding. And then I was holding him, and the sign that says 25 miles per hour is right by me. I pointed to it. The man laughed at me and started even speeding more. Found that disrespectful. And it's just very upsetting because I've shared some of these concerns with Mrs. Gannon, that we have lots of young children on the street. And I just would like to see something that we can do as a community to stop this, all this speediness. I mean, I don't really like speed bumps, but maybe that's even a possibility or something.
Sharing with Amber, I live 3 doors down from her. We previously actually complained to Pinellas County Sheriff's Office about the speeding, and we invited them to come and sit in my driveway, which they did. It was fantastic. We were like, go. We got to watch them every morning. There is a significant amount of speeding, but in the traffic, I can't recall the name of the document, but it is an arterial street. I don't know if we've done a recent traffic study, but
I'm not sure. What I would say is, you know, and this goes back a ways. Lafayette, I remember literally 10 years ago, where we had a policy, but I don't know that it was ever really an official policy about, well, you get 50% of your neighbors to sign a petition, you get a speed bump. And we kind of got away from that only to rely more on some traffic experts as to whether that was really helping or maybe not helping. But I could tell you it's been a contentious vote up here when we've had neighbors come up with a signed petition. We've always looked at that as pretty substantial, but we still defer to our the traffic. I can't think of the name of the company. Yeah. And so maybe it's time to have them take a look at it again as a committee and study the numbers. I don't know if the city manager has anything he'd like to add to that.
We would ask for the enforcement first. I believe the issue is at the MUTCD. Nan will probably correct me on that. Indicates because of the side of the road and the fact there's a median on it would mean that speed bumps would not be recommended.
Right.
But there's a lot of stop signs, as Amber said, 25 degree. So right now our tool has the enforcement in it, and that's about it for now.
All right.
I mean, just walking from my house down to Bicentennial Park, I had a clicker with me, and they were wondering what I was doing. They started slowing down, but I was just counting how many people were spinning. I counted 20 just on that short walk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
I am assigned to the traffic enforcement unit. Assigned to the city of Oldsmar arrests. I've done 2 independent studies with the city now since I've been assigned out here. The average speed is 7 miles over the speed limit on Lafayette. 2 separate times throughout the day, shortly after the first school zone, shortly before the second school zone. That's been done on 2 separate times by myself and my partner over the past 3 months. Now, I do realize that when you're standing out by a curb, the perception the cars are coming a lot faster. The highest speed that I've, and I have to look, but the highest speed that I've actually documented was 46 miles an hour. That's the highest one that I've got on Lafayette.
That's almost twice
And
the
that's
speed.
heading east and westbound traffic. So I'm more than happy to revisit that, look at it on a more consistent basis. But we are out there, several times throughout the day. Again, there's just the 2 of us out there, so our attention's kind of divided between the entire city where we can do the most effective for the citizens. But I will bring that to the point tomorrow in our briefing.
Perfect.
Mayor, I have
Sure,
those
go ahead,
those
Councilman.
signs that light up your slow down. Those always work when they seem to. Is that a possibility to put one of those on Lafayette in between the largest stretch of the 2 farthest away stop signs?
Well, I'm sure it could be, but why don't we do this? I mean, we'll revisit it after we have the SO go out and do, that. And maybe we ask our city manager to go ahead and take that information and look at what other options might there be for us. And we'll see what we can come up with. But it's been an issue for a very long time on that road. He agrees.
He agrees.
You're the ones who laughed at him. I mean, how can you laugh at him? Say bye-bye.
Man down.
Thank you
All
for
right.
coming.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Amber.
All right, and that is the perfect way to conclude the Citizens Open Forum. Next item on the agenda is Community Minute, which will be announced by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Yes, Santa's mailbox, beginning Monday, November 23rd through Friday, December 18th. Santa's Big Red Mailbox, don't listen, Big Red Mailbox, will be in front of City Hall. Young residents can drop off letters to Santa. Be sure to include a return address so he can write back. Light up Oldsmar. Oldsmar residents are encouraged to show their holiday spirit this season by decorating their homes to light up Oldsmar for a chance to win prizes. Photo, video entries can be submitted from Saturday, November 28th through Sunday, December 13th, and check out myoldsmar.com for details. And of course, everything is virtual this year sometimes, or lots of stuff, and so is our tree lighting ceremony. Join the city's virtual tree lighting ceremony on the city's Facebook page on Tuesday, December 1st at 6:00 p.m. The Oldsmar Citizen of the Year will be throwing the switch to light the tree in front of City Hall. So although the ceremony is virtual, the tree will be real and you're welcome to come by anytime. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Sure.
I just want to mention one thing. I think the Light Up Oldsmar is a great idea. This East Lake Oaks community, we've been doing that for 10 years, and we give out 5 $50 gifts to the homeowners with the best lights. I think it's a great idea, and kudos to the city for doing that. Great idea.
Great idea.
Very good. All right, next item on the agenda is approval of additional new agenda items. There are none. How about that? I love it. All right, so we'll go into section awards and recognition. Item number 1, presentation of Employee Services Award, which will be presented by our city manager, Mr. Al Braithwaite.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, we had been giving employees an opportunity to make a choice as to whether they wanted to receive the award. We have our generally embarrassing pictures of employees that received it today. All 3 employees were administrative service employees that worked directly for me for most of their time here, so we feel sorry for them right away. Wes, you want to roll that? I don't know who's first. We had 3 recipients. Sandy Winkler got her 15-year service award. You got a picture on her?
Oh.
There she is.
Exactly the same.
And I was bending down, so I'm quite a bit taller than Sandy is, but she's been at administrative services since 2005. Fabulous employee. The things that she's been done very quietly have been stellar and makes a big part of the finance team. The second one, I think, was probably Jen, maybe? No, Amy, okay. Amy Ratliff is our accounting administrator. 10-year service award, you may remember not long ago, she received the council manager award from Vice Mayor Gannon for work she completed on a project that we've been trying to get done for 10 years. And I said this morning that it was the single largest finance accomplishment that we've had. I won't go into the details, but we had some fun with that this morning. And our third candidate for service award was Jen Tassanero. It was her 10-year service award. And Jen is an HR technician in the city manager's office, but prior to city manager's office, she was also a member of administrative services, another great employee. So that was a lot of fun for me today because these are 3 direct reports for me, or formerly direct reports, and all great employees.
Well, good. Let's give them a round of applause. And I don't know what the deal is, but I'm looking at the pictures and it's like none of them have aged.
Not at all. They look
Wow.
fantastic.
I
Must
think
not be so bad working for you.
I think about people who up on this council, how quickly we age in the few years that we're here.
Hey, be nice.
I was talking about me.
Oh, okay.
All right, second item on the agenda is a presentation of the Council Manager Award for October 2020, and Councilmember Knapp will get to finally present that.
Hey.
First time doing it, too.
Oh, that's right.
That's exciting.
All right. This 2020 Atlantic hurricane season has been one for the record books. As we all know, it is terribly hard to keep track of where any of these powerful storms are headed. Thankfully, due to one of Oldsmar's very own residents, our citizens have the ability to see the most up-to-date information on where Arthur, Ada, or Iota may be going. What started as a hobby online back in 2004 has turned into a nearly full-time gig. A page that was once hosted in a hidden spot on a radio-controlled car racing website has spawned into one of the best places to find information about active tropical cyclones. SpaghettiModels.com, better known as Mike's Weather Page, aggregates an amazing amount of maps, animations, and models that give visitors the most up-to-date look at what is going on in the tropics. As if the information on the website wasn't enough, visitors to the Mike's Weather Page site on Facebook will find an even more interactive way to get information about storms. There is at least one, but sometimes many live streams each day reviewing tropical activity. A more recent addition to the content is live videos during active storm chasing. It is now my distinct honor, in front of the millions watching at home, to introduce Mike Boylan as the recipient of the Council Manager Award for October 2020. Come on up. And I do mean millions. There you go. I do mean millions because as of early October, Mike's weather page now has over 1 million active followers on Facebook.
Wow.
Mike and his family have lived in Oldsmar for over 11 years. He is joined here tonight with his wife, Julie, and his daughters, Emmy and Sarah. A little bit more. As I mentioned previously, Mike has recently begun storm chasing, visiting Houston and Louisiana for Hurricane Delta, Biloxi for Hurricane Zeta, and crisscrossing Florida for Eta. Also, as the weather page has gotten more popular, it has resulted in the fame of a couple of miniature stars. Mike's French bulldogs, Louie and Hunter, graced us with their presence on the most recent edition of the Experience Oldsmar magazine. Besides tracking weather, Mike is passionate about making Oldsmar an even better place to live. About 6 months ago, Mike started a petition to expand the use of golf carts to more parts of the city of Oldsmar. By September, an ordinance change came before council and was approved unanimously. Mike, on behalf of the city of Oldsmar and the city council, I'd like to thank you for everything you've been doing.
Microphone.
Mic drop.
Literally. A literal mic drop.
Grab that mic and talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Thank you, yes. We had to put off the first one because of our first softball game.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Priorities.
It's not like there haven't been storms.
Smile with your eyes.
Yeah.
Smile with your eyes.
Yeah, I was okay, so first. It's working? Yep. I love our city, Oldsmar. I grew up here. I'm a Florida cracker. I think they call us that. I raced radio control cars in 1985 at the flea market that was a 2-lane road. So I have a lot of history here. And you were mentioning storm chasing, and I saw your Facebook page. I was blown away by the surge that we got. I don't know if you guys knew how much water came up. So we're in a very prone area in the tropics, and we were very lucky with Eta. And just stay alert to that because the water was pretty bad over in the Gulf Coast, Madeira Beach area and stuff. So that was just a couple days ago. So, but I want to thank Andrew Knapp and the rest of the council for what you guys do. We love your city. Anything I can do to make it better, let me know. All right, thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, I have my own little Mike's weather page story. So here I am. I'm down visiting my sister who lived in the Cayman Islands at the time. Excuse me, lived in St. Croix at the time. And I'm out there, and there's a storm coming, and I don't remember which one it was. It wasn't that long ago. And they're like, you followed on Mike's weather page, right? And I had not heard of the site. And I'm like, no, so they shared it with me. And I'm like, where do they operate out of? They're like, Oldsmar. I'm like, give me that. And so I do my little backtracking into it, and it was on the Ariel's Park, I think was the location that it was coming down to. I'm like, wow, I live next door to that. Okay.
Mayor, one other quick note. Mike, I just want to tell you, I was in Orlando when the storm was going on here in Oldsmar, and my wife and I were watching the Weather Channel, and you were all over the Weather Channel. All your videos, you were on it just 2 days ago. Great job.
Yeah.
That's become my new hobby. Put Oldsmar on the map.
There you go. There you go.
I just want to say I'm not a fan of the weather chasing. I was home with the girls the whole time, was scared to death with the branches hitting the window. I'm like, when are you coming home? You know, I'm like, can you please just come home?
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all your service. It certainly helps a lot of folks, not just here in Oldsmar, but all around the world. So great job. Great job. All right, next item on the agenda is a presentation of the Council Manager Award for November 2020, and our Vice Mayor, Gannon, will be the presenter. She is already on it.
Here, let's see. Okay, we're still working. Pull this off.
Glasses always fog up. Hi, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. So I have the distinct pleasure of presenting tonight the November 2020 Council Manager Award to Ms. Ashley Painter, our Sustainability Coordinator here for the City of Oldsmar. She gets up, I have to tell you a little bit about her. She has a master's degree in biology, marine biology, and coastal sustainability. She obtained her undergraduate degree from Clemson. We won't hold that against her. You may not know, though, that she has expertise in saltwater biodigesters. No, I have no idea what that means. I'm sure she could give us a dissertation on it. She also has expertise in sustainable farming practices, deforestation, watershed management. She's negotiated with local rulers in Cameroon, yes, the country, when she was with the United States Peace Corps. She's conducted small batch seed experiments in Hawaii for 2 years. A little busy over there. She researched and presented a solar feasibility study for the city of Dunedin. And all of this was before she joined the city of Oldsmar in February 2019. So since then, she's completely revitalized the city's Adopt a Street program, which became incredibly popular on social media. I know lots of folks have friends who immediately sought to adopt a street here, which kind of helps the citizens buy in, invest in the beauty of our city and taking care of it. Back in August, Ashley was here when council approved a grant agreement for $75,000 in funding to put toward our climate resiliency plan, a really big deal, especially now that we all know how resilient we need to become. Ashley helped apply for that grant, and it'll maximize the CRP and helped us obtain additional deliverables, which means we get more for our money, and that's a big deal around here. More recently, the Florida Green Building Coalition presented the city, you might recall, and it was published in the Beacon. If this was in your driveway in the past couple of days, that's all of us, and Ashley front and center holding the plaque that now sits downstairs on the wall. The gold level certification was brought here by the executive directors, and he specifically recognized Ashley for the hard work that she put in to obtain the certification, which scores the city on energy efficiency, water, tourism, economic development, emergency management, planning, zoning, all kinds of factors. Our city obtained the third highest score in the state of Florida. That's insane. And all of this in less than 21 months with the city. I tell you, Ashley, you've done an incredible job so far. I cannot wait to see which project you take on next. I'm sure it will be fantastic. I'm so proud to present to you the November 2020 Council Manager Award. Hand this to you from a distance, and I shall put my mask on so we can take a photo. And then you'll have to tell us about saltwater biodigesters. Want to say a couple words while we have you here?
I guess if I need to.
You don't have to.
Well, thank you for this. It has been a pleasure working for the city and bolstering up our sustainability and resilience. And hopefully we'll see lots of new things to come and exciting.
I did hear a rumor that not only are you into recycling, that's just not quite good enough, but you actually personally only generate 5 bags of garbage a year. Is that right? Yeah. So not recycle, reuse, like glass containers, like complete reuse. 5 bags. Can you imagine? I think I generate that in a week with my toddlers, right?
With the kids, yeah.
Pretty amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Ashley. You've certainly been doing a wonderful job for us since you've arrived here and expanded the things we've been working on for years. So we look forward to the future. All right, next item on the agenda is Community Redevelopment Agency. We have nothing under that category. Before we go to the consent docket, I'm going to ask for a little bit of leeway from council and entertain a motion to suspend the rules of the day so we can go to item number 18, because I know we have folks waiting on that item. Has anybody got an issue with that?
Nope, may I make a motion to approve?
All right, so a motion to approve to suspend the rules of the day. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, we're going to go to item 18 right now. All right. So do we have a report from staff on the report? No? All right, so as you all know, the chamber, along with one of the business owners here, asked us about a crematorium, and I suggested that we find out why it's been one of those items that has not been allowed in the city, just in general. So I think we all got the report that came from staff. They spent the time on it, and they found out of the 4 real driving points why we don't have that as an allowed item in the city of Oldsmar, right? And so I'm sure all of you have gone through the report. The number 1 item, which of course is concerned, the evidence of harmful pollutants emitted by crematoriums and associated health impacts due to exposure. That being, of course, an area that, you probably, one would like to get into the debate of, which science is the most accurate. Because certainly I know those who are here tonight have brought us some information. I know it came from the internet. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's viable, but clearly there is a debate that could be had around that topic. And so I don't know that it's necessary for us to have that debate right now, because clearly I don't think we're prepared to do so. The purpose of them doing the research, staff, was to find out why it was prohibited. All right, the second item, and so I'm not going to try to tackle, what seems to be right, what doesn't seem to be right with that statement, but rather to say that there's obviously some debate to that. The second item is the state and local regulations for operating a crematorium. And so we have in our packets kind of a breakdown of the cities that do allow it and the cities that either are silent on the subject or who clearly do not allow it, and what some of their permitting requirements are, and that of the state. And so the highlight from that, and anybody's welcome to comment on this, my read in that is that when you look at where they are allowed in our region, they tend to be your larger cities, right? And I think that makes sense when, as a city, you're trying to think of, okay, where is an appropriate place to allow that type of activity? And, when you don't have a lot of room that is distanced from residential, it makes it more difficult to find the right place to allow that. And that kind of goes into the third point. And for me, I am not taking any action on this item. We don't have a proposal before us. We have research before us. And so that's not my intent. Certainly, it can be anybody else's intent. But I will talk about one item that I find to be kind of an absolute concern for me in the staff's report, and that is the potential economic impact to homeowners nearby. And, that to me has always been an important issue, and this goes back to my time serving on the Board of Adjustments, and that is making changes after the fact, and what is the economic impact. And I can tell you that I've always approached those exceptions by reading the staff's report, which is very detailed when you do that, but I've always asked myself the question, A, does it pose a safety issue, and B, does it have a detrimental impact on somebody else's property? And there is evidence that the staff has found that supports that a crematorium tends to have a negative impact on the value of one's property, all right? And so, you know, to me, if this item was to be considered via a proposal, it would have to have some of the following requirements, at least from my perspective, of where is the location that would reside, that distance it properly from residential, you know, a residential area. And certainly, because of the debate as it relates to the science, that would also include being quite distant from any public school, anything along that lines. Those are, you know, just legitimate issues that you would have to say, okay, if we're not spot on with the debate of the science of it, we, as a precaution, would want to take those kinds of steps. I will say that specifically, the funeral home that has brought this to us, one of the things that I have to say in fairness is that coming back to the business owner and property owner's rights, you know, that's something I feel very strong about protecting. And so when you say you can't do something on someone's property, it has a detrimental effect on the value, right? In particular, it's a big part of their business or that industry. The problem is when the property was initially permitted back in the very beginning, that discussion happened then because it was a conditional use of the permit that it would not have a crematorium. Mm-hmm. And so while there might be new owners, it's not a scenario in which the city said, hey, you can have a funeral home there, and then after the fact said, but you can't do this. You know, that was determined from the very beginning. And, you know, so I don't feel that there's any kind of unfair economic adversity that's occurring because we don't permit it in the city limits. So I've said my piece on it, where we're at right now. I don't know if any of the council members care to comment on it. All right.
When I, if I may just briefly.
Vice Mayor.
Mayor, when I reviewed the staff report, it struck me how few crematories there actually are in Pinellas County. And then I thought to myself, well, just hang on 1 second here. How many funeral homes are there in the county? And then I looked at that page 109 of 115 in the agenda, and I realized, oh, I get it. Everybody shares them. Everybody uses the ones that are currently existing. And so I started to look at, you know, different websites, including the website for Holloway, and they all offer crematory services. And so it became very difficult for me mentally to justify changing something that was a conditional use to begin with. The property right and the permitted uses were established long ago, and any subsequent purchase, of course, would be subject to those same limitations as would any property owner. And I thought to myself, okay, well, where could this potentially be sited? And I kind of went back and forth thinking about the industrial area, and I couldn't reconcile infringing upon the property rights of those sited in the industrial district when there was no potential of this at the time they purchased, you know, perhaps industrial property north of Tampa Road. You know, I looked at Curlew Hills right there. I would be very interested to know the data for particular locations of crematories in Hillsborough County because we're so close. But it occurred to me that if folks are currently sharing the uses of the existing crematories, anywhere in Pinellas County, you know, could be an option provided the distance requirements and the FDEP regulations mentioned. But the argument that Holloway couldn't remain competitive faded a little bit for me just because everybody appears to be doing the same thing. So that became difficult for me to overcome that, and what you mentioned already, which is that the cities that do have, are not silent on it, are the 4 largest cities in the county, which may have the space to properly situate a crematory away from schools and residential areas that could be potentially negatively impacted in their property values.
Right. Anybody else?
That's my take.
Say something.
Councilman?
To the council, I have a friend in St. Pete. He's a business owner, and he allowed a crematorium to be built behind his location. And he has offered that if we are interested, we could do a workshop and go down and see it. But after the crematorium being there for about 5 years, he recommends that we should not allow it in our city, and he can explain why. But I would just say that he doesn't approve of it. After experiencing what has happened with some of his clients, with some of his customers in the building, and just being there every day.
That's interesting. All right, anybody have any other comments on it? I'm going to say
I do.
once again.
I
All right,
do.
go ahead.
Well, you guys
I
have
almost
already.
said Vice Mayor.
That's okay. You guys have already brought up a number of my concerns, the property value. Of course, my number one concern is the environment, the proximity to schools. But I also have another, I was amazed that at the mercury and then people that have radiation treatments, those bodies that could be, let off other organic compounds and then the other one. So of course, environmentally, I'm very concerned about it. But my added concern is that if we do change the code and say that we allow Holloway, and no offense, you guys are a great business here in Oldsmar, Scott. If we change the code to allow it, then that means we could have more. And we are situated in a tri-county area, which would be very convenient for people to use that one, especially considering there's only one other crematorium in North County. They're all in South County. So I'm just afraid we'll end up having more than one if we do change the code, because we can't just let Holloway do it. If we say yes, we have to let anybody come in and do it if they want to. So you guys have already brought up the other points that I wanted to make. So thank you.
Councilman Knapp, anything to add?
Not really. I mean, the one thing that I just kind of noticed by looking at that map is it did seem like a fair amount even kind of fell, even if there were the larger cities that do allow it, some of them seem to fall in unincorporated Pinellas County. And just from kind of knowledge of those areas, it seems that they tend to fall in even larger industrial areas than kind of our nucleus of what we have here. So I think that's why they have kind of trended where they wound up historically on the map. So.
All right.
Just an observation.
All right, very good. So listen, there was no, I added this to the agenda so that we could discuss it, to find out, okay, well, why has it been this way? And what's the current consensus with the council to provide some feedback to a business owner? And in general, I think it's fair to do. There's no action that we're taking on this item. This item's not a proposal to approve it. Nobody appears to be making that. And so at this time, I'm going to end discussion. The chair will entertain a motion to return to the rules of the day.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? Since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. Next item, back to the agenda, is the Community Redevelopment Agency, which we do not have anything on. Next section, consent docket, which items 4 and 5, which will be announced by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Consent docket. Item number 4, approve payment to legal counsel for October 2020 legal services. Item number 5, approve minutes of the November 3rd, 2020 City Council meeting.
Does anybody wish to pull anything from the consent docket? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. City of Oldsmar, got a clear agenda item there. And so we will move on to the city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 6 on your agenda is adopt resolution 2020-39. I'll read that by title only. Resolution 2020-39, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the rules of procedure for the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, repealing resolution 20-36 and providing an effective date hereof. The change that you're seeing is one that was suggested at the last council meeting, and that was to move the direction of how motions and public hearings would be heard, and so we move the motion to being made and seconded down in the list of the process. And I'm talking about that section listed in paragraph 5, which is page 2 of 9 or page 27 of 115 of the agenda. So I just moved motion and second, I and J. It was up above underneath the applicant's presentation. And so it flows a little bit easier and you can hear the public. So that's the only change that we've made to the rules of procedure.
Excellent. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. Discussion?
Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Great
Tom, for
job.
pointing it
Great
out.
job, Mayor.
No. Well, thank you. Sensen, you ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Guess what? We now have a new set of procedures we're really going to get to test right now for public hearings.
Turn right around.
Throw away the old cheat sheet?
That's it. Throw out the old one, in with the new. All right. Sorry. City manager, city attorney.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and move on to item number 7. The next 5 items are ordinances or second readings, annexation ordinance. So I'll read them by title only. Ordinance 2020-12, an ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east. Further described as lot 23, block 17, map of section number 1, West Oldsmar, parcel number 22, 28, 16, 9, 6660, 017, 0230, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar and providing for the effect of this ordinance. Again, this is the second final reading of ordinance 2020-12 by title only.
Thank you. City manager, any remarks?
No, sir.
I'm assuming there'll be no staff presentation on any of these next 5 items?
Correct.
Okay.
Second reading.
Okay, an applicant presentation. Is the applicant here? All right. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak on this? Sensing that there is nobody who wishes to speak, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. The applicant, as I stated, is not here. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Well, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-12, annexing 3152 Huron Avenue into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. Item number 8 on your agenda is the second reading of ordinance 2020-13. I'll read that by title only. An ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east, further described as lot 26, block 17, map of section number 1, West Oldsmar, parcel number 22, 28, 16, 9, 6660, 017, 0260, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar, providing for an effective date of this ordinance. That was the second final reading of ordinance 2020-13 by title only.
Thank you. City manager, any remarks?
No, sir.
Thank you. No staff presentation. The applicant's not present. I'd open the public hearing at this time. Anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this item? Seeing there is none, I will go ahead and close the public hearing. The applicant is not present to make a closing statement. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
I have
Second.
a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-13, annexing 3140 Huron Avenue into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Item number 9 on your agenda is ordinance 2020-14. I'll read that by title only. An ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east, further described as lot 21, block 17, map of section number 1, West Oldsmar. Parcel number 22, 28, 16, 9, 6660, 017, 0210, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar, providing for the effective date of this ordinance. It was the second final reading of ordinance 2020-14 by title only.
Thank you. City manager?
No, sir.
I'd like to ask the city manager, is there going to be any staff presentation on these items?
No, sir.
Because it is optional, so we don't have to go to that. All right, and there's no applicant present. I'll open the public hearing at this time. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item? Seeing that there is no one, I will go ahead and close the public hearing. And there is no applicant to make a closing statement. The chair will entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Benton, you ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-14, annexing 3160 Huron Avenue into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you.
Item number 10, public hearing, ordinance 2020-15. I'll read it by title only. An ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east, further described as lot 20, block 17. Map of section number 1, West Oldsmar, parcel number 22, 28, 16, 96660, 017, 0200, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar, providing for an effective this ordinance. That was the second final reading of ordinance 2020-15 by title only.
Thank you. City Manager?
No, sir.
All right. Applicants, no applicant present. At this time, I'll open the public hearing. Is anybody here wishing to speak on this item? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. There's no applicant for a closing statement. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Discussion. Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-15, annexing 3164 Huron Avenue into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Item number 11 is public hearing for second reading of ordinance 2020-16. I'll read that by title only. An ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east, further described as lot 5, block 10. Map of section number 1, West Oldsmar, parcel number 22, 28, 16, 9, 6660, 010, 0050, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar and providing for the effective of this ordinance. It was the second final reading of ordinance 2020-16 by title only.
Thank you, City Manager.
No, sir.
Applicants not present. I'll open the public hearing at this time. Is there anybody wishes to speak on this item? Go ahead and close the public hearing. Applicant is not present. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-16, annexing West Oldsmar, Section 1, Block 10, Lot 5, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Item number 12 is a public hearing for the second reading of ordinance 2020-17. I'll read it by title only. An ordinance declaring the intention of the city of Oldsmar, Florida to annex certain real property located in section 22, township 28 south, range 16 east. Further described as lot 4, block 1, map of section number 1, West Oldsmar, parcel number 22, 28, 16, 9, 666, 001, 0040, into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar, providing for the effect of this ordinance. It was the second final reading of ordinance 2020-17 by title only.
Thank you, City Manager.
6 at a time.
Somebody's got to say it.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for you saved it. That was good. All right, there is no applicant present, so I will go ahead and open the public hearing at this time. Is there anybody who wishes to comment on this item? Seeing that there is no one, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. The applicant's not here to make a closing statement. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
moved.
I have a motion and a second.
Second.
A motion, a second, and a second.
Who said the first second? Oh, I missed it.
That's
I'm
all
way
right.
over here.
Discussion. Sensing you're ready to vote, please roll call.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes, yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-17, annexing 3675 Shore Boulevard into the corporate limits of the city of Oldsmar is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Item number 13, public hearing, a first reading of ordinance 2020-18. I'll read that by title only. An ordinance of the city of Oldsmar, Florida, amending section 3.15.1 of the Land Development Code to provide that a property owner may not apply for a zoning amendment on property if it has been acted upon by city council within the preceding 12 months and providing for an effective date. That was the first reading of ordinance 2020-18 by title only. You remember that we revised subparagraph 2. We had taken out the words more than once every 12 months and substituted in that has been acted upon by the city council within the preceding 12 months. That was the only change in that section of the Land Development Code. It's to basically allow a property owner to apply more than once in a 12-month period of time, so long as the council does not act on it. So if an application has been filed and withdrawn, it can still be filed again.
Very good. City Manager.
No, sir.
Staff presentation?
No, sir.
Is the applicant present?
No, sir.
I'll go ahead and open the public hearing on this item. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this? Seeing that there is not, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. As I said, the applicant's not here. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote. All in favor, excuse me, roll call.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
First reading of ordinance 2020-18, amending section 3.15.1 of the Land Development Code passes with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you, that's all I have. That's all I have.
Attorney, got anything else? Any other public hearings you want to throw out there tonight?
I'll
No?
hold on till next time.
All right,
Thank you.
very good. All right, next item on the agenda, City Manager, item 14.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 14 is request council approval to waive bid requirements and approve the purchase and installation of spray park equipment from Raindrop Products LLC per the pricing terms and conditions of the Sourcewell contract number 030-117-RDP on CC 20 Form 033. In 2005, the city of Oldsmar completed the construction of a water spray park adjacent to the Cypress Forest Rec Center. Over the 15 years since it has opened, it has served countless numbers of families. The equipment has begun to show its age as many pieces have faded in color, and the pump system now requires frequent repair to remain operational. The proposed renovation will consist of the demolition of the existing spray park and the installation of an all-new water feature with a wetland theme, new underground piping, pumps, and filter system, and the addition of a secondary UV sanitizing system. This renovation will continue to provide residents and visitors to Oldsmar the opportunity to cool off during the hot summer months for years to come. In anticipation of renovating the park, the city applied for and was awarded a $200,000 matching grant from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Land and Water Conservation Fund program in 2019. This grant, along with the city's $200,000 matching contribution, will fund the renovation of the spray park. Additionally, improvements to the boardwalk area, restrooms, picnic shelters, and the addition of a small play area and wetland viewing platform will take place and be procured separately from this renovation. Staff recommends approval.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? A motion, a second. Any discussion?
I'm so excited for this. I am too.
I said, when I was meeting with Al, I'm like, how many times is this going to be on our agenda?
Lots of times.
Anyhow, it's all good. It's all good.
Yep.
All right. Any other comments?
Thank you.
Looking
to the
forward to
staff.
having my daughter's second birthday party there, because I think it'll be done in time, right? Second
There you
birthday?
go. There you go. All right. Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Item 15.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 15 is another purchasing item. Approve annual citywide fuel purchase per Pinellas County Cooperative Contract number 190-0360-B on CC 21 Form 001. The city is a member of the cooperative contract recently rebid by Pinellas County, which awarded Palmdale Oil Company the contract for tank wagon purchase and delivery of gasoline and diesel fuel for a 5-year term. The city maintains a fleet fueling system as the municipal services center and purchases fuel inventory throughout the year. The contract pricing is based on the oil price information services average terminal rack price as published daily for the specific fuel, plus a per gallon fixed fee markup. The fuel cost can vary depending on the OPIS average. Fuel purchased from the contract supplies the citywide fleet of vehicles and equipment, as well as off-road diesel used in the standby generators located throughout the city. The budgetary impact is budgetary money found in the city in various departments, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I guess we have to put fuel in those vehicles, huh?
We're going to make more.
Kind of important.
It's a big help, especially in emergencies. We're generally supposed to be the first to receive fuel as a government. So if supply is ever an issue, usually the first time we meet as an emergency management policy group, first thing we say is get a fuel supply in here and top everybody off. It's a wonderful thing. Bruce fought us on it when we first asked to build it years ago, but I think it's been a great asset.
Cool. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? That's when you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item 16.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 16 is request council adoption of resolution 2020-40, which is the final, or what we call the year-end budget revision for fiscal year 2019-2020. Let me read the resolution by title only. Resolution 2020-40, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2019 and ending September 30th, 2020, authorizing the city manager and the director of administrative services to revise the existing budget. Mayor, that concludes the reading resolution 2020-40. I'm available to answer any questions.
All right, let's get a motion. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Does anyone have any questions? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 17 is request council approval to authorize the city manager to execute 2018-001 RFP, a contract amendment number 2 for citywide janitorial services with United States Service Industries, Inc., or as we refer to them, USSI. On December 4th, 2019, the city renewed a contract with USSI to continue providing janitorial services at city facilities for the second of 5 one-year automatic renewal periods. Following the second one-year renewal period, both the city and the contractor desire to continue the service agreement for a third one-year renewal period. The terms and conditions of the contract provide the option for either party to request a price adjustment not to exceed the average CPI for the 12-month period prior to the requested extension. Initially, USSI had requested a 2.26% increase. However, following discussions with Leisure Services staff, they have agreed to a 2% increase requested for the renewal term beginning December 6, 2020, and continuing through December 5, 2021. Staff has researched and compared the request with similar information obtained from the Bureau of Labor Statistics over the past year. Based on the service category, find this request to be valid. The total annual cost of this service will be $104,017.92. Funding is available in the 2021 budget in the Facilities Maintenance Division, and staff recommends approval.
All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Anything else?
So thank you, sir.
You know, I should comment on one thing on item 16 on the final budget revision, and that is for those who looked at that package online, that $30,000, which is the reallocation to the city council members, city council, I guess you would call it, is a line item. That's actually the funds that this council committed that was used from a, I don't know if reserve's the right word, but essentially a line item for emergency for assisting our citizens with their water bills. And so that's what that money was, that $30,000, just so everybody knows that. In case you're keeping track at home.
Didn't go straight to the mayor? No.
Didn't go to the mayor's.
Didn't go to me.
I thought it went to the vice mayor.
No.
Oh, okay, well, it's good to know. All right, city clerk.
I just want to comment that, you know, whenever we have an emergency or something like that, I get to see the background stuff. And it's just absolutely amazing to see how we come together as a team, and I don't think we could be any luckier than to have the staff we have. Just want to say that.
For excellent comments. Excellent comments.
Said.
All right, city council, we already did item 18. I'm going to go to number 19, which is to approve the tentative agenda for December 1st, 2020. Is there anybody who wishes to pull anything from the tentative agenda? All right, so I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the tentative agenda and add consider BMX track repairs as a new item for the tentative agenda. So the chair will entertain a motion.
Can I add something to the agenda, Mayor?
Well, you sure can.
I would like to add to the agenda discussing changing the current 3-year council term to 4 years. That was not on the Ordinance Review Committee's report, and I'd like to add that for discussion.
Okay, so we have currently what we have is the tentative agenda. It would then be amended by those 2 items. The chair will entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Make a motion to approve.
I've got a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item 20, council comments. I'm going to start with Councilmember Knapp tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. In the spirit of being brief, I will just comment on all the great work that was put in after the storm by both our city staff as well as residents. I was blown away by what I saw on social media. I wasn't actually here in the state when the storm came and after it had passed. But honestly, I think I saw more people offering help than asking for help, which I think just speaks volumes about the people that live here. And even if they don't live here, they live close by, just going out there and offering to rip up carpet or clean up debris, which I think was the thing that affected most of the city overall. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Very good. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to be sure to thank city staff for the cleanup efforts, for staying up all night watching this thing come through, for spending their nights in hotels and on cots and away from their families to make sure that the city's assets were either prepared or protected. It's a big deal. I mean, by noon on Friday, everything, it was like it had never happened. It was absolutely astounding. Anne's comments are completely on point. I tried to give bottles of water to the leisure services staff in the median, but they said Al was taking care of them. So I took them at their word. But it was pretty incredible. It was pretty incredible. And folks did come together to help clean up, help assist others. Matt Clark and Mark Howe came by my house. I was standing out front with toddlers, and they pulled out a pole saw and started cutting up big branches that were in my yard. And and they just drove by. They just drove by and saw giant branches and somebody standing there, and it didn't matter who it was. And I know they did that for a lot of folks around town. It always just humbles me. I'm so grateful to live here among such community members. The entire experience, though, was kind of scary. We were a little bit angry about the FEMA flood map thing, but I kind of get it now a little bit. I was pretty shocked when I saw how far up Lafayette the water came. It was to Dartmouth, and it was up in the median. It was scary. It was really scary, and that was a tropical storm. So I would encourage our citizens to always be prepared, even late into November. Apparently, 2020 has been one for the books. I wanted to congratulate Ashley, Mike, and our award recipients for their years of service. I was so honored to present her that award and to learn more about her. Honestly, Ashley is a fantastic person. And then just one comment as we kind of go into December and the holiday season. I wanted to be sure to wish everybody a wonderful Thanksgiving, of course. But I also wanted to thank staff for, again, coming up with new ideas and new ways that we can continue to do what we do, which is to create that feeling of community. The Santa mailbox went out, that we're going to try to do the Santa visits. I mean, don't tell the kids, but we're going to try to do the Santa visits with fire rescue. We're going to do the golf cart parade. We're going to do a virtual tree lighting ceremony. We're going to keep moving forward and keep finding new ways to do better and be better. And I'm just constantly impressed by the staff. And I thank everybody for their ideas, for reaching out on social media, and for spreading the message that Oldsmar is moving on and moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Norris.
Mine are all about gratitude tonight, and some of you have already touched on the things that I'm grateful for. But I have to do a special shout out to the city staff and everything. You guys have already brought it up, but Al talked me off a ledge. I called him up, and Mayor, you as well. You had your pool and jacuzzi having shrimp float in them and everything, and you still texted back to calm me down. It's the highest it's ever gotten in my house. I need a moat. I was surrounded on 3 sides. And there were waves hitting my house, and I was freaking out. And even though Al had probably 100 people to talk to, he was like, Linda, breathe, just calm down. And you returned my text. And Felicia comes by my house the next day and sees the state of my yard, and it's like, are you okay? But I have to say thank you to LJ Tucker Enterprises. He sent a crew out and helped me get it all cleaned up and everything. So I wanted to thank you all for that. And the Veterans Day, our Veterans Day ceremony went off without a hitch. So that I was very grateful for that as well. Earth Fair coming back to our town. I'm very grateful for that. And the last thing, the taking flight, the angel wings are going to be installed, and we're going to be having, the promise was hopefully that it would happen before Christmas, and it is. I don't know if we're going to be having any kind of public thing, but we are. Okay, so it's going to be on Tuesday, December 8th at 11 o'clock. We're going to unveil the beautiful art, and so I'm very grateful for that as well. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That's it. Thank you.
Very good. Councilmember Strachey.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank Al for keeping me updated during the storm. I was in Orlando at the Florida League of Cities Conference, and the water came right up to the back of the house, and that's the highest it's ever been since I bought that property in 2001. So it was a scary thing. I did have cameras. I watched it all night. But Al, I just want to say thank you for texting me and keeping us updated. I left some stuff on your desk. I wanted to show you a report. I attended the Florida League of Cities Legislative Conference in Orlando. It was 50-50. There was 50 people attended, 50% of people attended, 50% were on Zoom. But one thing I wanted to share with you is the policy committee participation. As you can see, the Pinellas County, Hillsborough, Pasco County, Suncoast League of Cities is #1 in participation. We have over 20 home rule heroes. We're the highest in the state of any of the leagues, and I wanted to share that. And the participation is basically attending the Florida League of Cities Legislative Week in Tallahassee or being involved in Orlando, any of the legislative. So I wanted to show you that we are #1. And then also I gave everybody a packet. I grabbed these. There were some extras. I wanted to share that with the council. And you guys have a packet. And Felicia, this one's yours. I'll give it to you. And you can read that in your time, your spare time. But it basically explains where we're headed this year in building stronger cities. And the goal of the Florida League of Cities is to get out to the citizens of Oldsmar, for example, and just explain to them about home rule and try to teach them how we want to protect our voice to the people. That's really what we're trying to do this year. Tony Ortiz's goal is to bring in an army to, save home rule so that local businesses have a voice. I wanted to share that. Last thing I want to tell you is Sunset Sounds. I want to give Chip, kudos to Chip, great job at the Sunset Sounds. We had Brother Brownlow Band. They played nonstop Friday night from 7 to 9. They were going to take a break, and they decided, because the fans were clapping so much for so many people, it was about 250 attendees, and lots of golf carts. I've never seen so many golf carts parked at the park for the concert. They were all in the back, but it was a great event. Kids were running around, a great family event. I'm looking forward, Chip, to seeing what else you bring to our city. I just want to say thank you for that. And then happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have a few items. It's funny. We had the virtual Veterans Day event that we put on here, and we had some technical issues. For those of you who looked, we did have some technical issues. But what I was impressed with about it is it's our first one, and I really felt like collectively, as a team, we put a nice product together, and it was not, crazy long or anything. It was just a nice, good content, and I wanted to thank everybody who worked on that. The technical part of it, things happen sometimes, but we'll certainly nail the next one, And I'm reminded, as some of my fellow council members' comments, is how, now I want you to just sit back and look at this and maybe compare it to some other cities. So, first time event, virtual Veterans Day, Wednesday. We leave. Hammered that night. I had a storm. And I'm telling you, I've lived over there in that house on the bay for 16 years, and there's been other hurricanes come through, and that was by far the highest water that we've ever had come in, at least right on that spot, I can tell you for sure. So we're hammered by that. So the next day, we got people like Hector out helping, and Clark, and all these people out just helping neighbor, and then you got all the city staff who worked all night long. I ran into some of the guys on my street And I said, so how long have you been working? He said, since yesterday, you know. And just everybody pitching in after going through that. And, you know, thank God nobody was hurt, you know. And then Friday night, we have a concert.
And it didn't rain.
We had a concert the next night afterwards. It was like, okay, how you like me now, right? You know? So, I mean, it's just like, well, how you pull that all together and then turn around and a bunch of people come from the community come together and enjoy themselves. You know, but we are blessed to live in this town. I get emotional when I think about it sometimes, but I just want to thank everybody for that. I will say this, one thing that I would ask our citizens. We have an event like this, stay home. Don't go out driving around. I know it's really one of those things you want to see how bad is it. Maybe you're doing it in part to plan ahead, or I don't know. But it is dangerous. We do not want our first responders out and putting them in unnecessary risk. So it's one thing we could work on because there were some folks out. So, but we did amazing as a community. Covered that. Covered that. Earth Fair, good news on Earth Fair coming back.
Yay.
I did get clearance that I could share that information before I shared it publicly, but it is apparently signed. It's going to be the same group that owned it prior. They never wanted to leave Oldsmar. That was a corporate-wide thing, and so very excited. They're supposed to have possession of it, I think, over the next 2 weeks, but it probably won't be open again until I think they were shooting for sometime in April. So that's just some more good news. I have a question of the council members, and this, I'm just curious. I was having this conversation with staff today. I don't know if have we ever considered holding one of our regular meetings during the daytime?
Since I've
Because I know there are some cities that have their meetings during the day.
Tampa, St. Pete.
Clearwater, I think, does as well. And of course, the county commission does it during the day. And I don't know whether it's doesn't work for us because of some people on council work schedule,
right?
Or if it's something we just haven't considered. But I throw it out there as just something to think about, because maybe if you ended up in a scenario where you had one meeting at least during the day and one in the evening, that maybe it actually broadens access to our meetings. From people who might work at nights. I don't know. But I just throw that out there to let it kind of roll around in everyone's head, and maybe if we get some feedback from the public on it individually, maybe it's something we bring back as an item to have more meaningful discussion. But I just thought I would throw it out there and think outside the box. And the most important thing I have, happy holidays, everyone. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. I think we all have a lot to be thankful for. All right. With that, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a second. Discussion. Doesn't require a vote. We're adjourned.